Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Sandbox, see what's going on with that, and obviously dive a little bit deeper into Bitcoin. I think it's important to understand. And the main reason why is because it's kind of controlling the market right now. It is doing fairly well here today, so just keep that in mind. We see some green across the board based on that sentiment. It is Saturday. Everyone just got paid yesterday, and people are feeling good. That fear is subsiding a little bit with Bitcoin increasing, but that's because the whales haven't coming in and manipulate it down yet, right? Be aware that tomorrow, Sunday, is a pretty strong red day in most cases. That could very well happen. But for now, let's go ahead and celebrate some of the small stuff. We're trending above the 200-day simple moving average on Bitcoin. So that's a very good sign on the one-day chart. Ultimately, fantastic. Just bear in mind that we have a lot of other key moving averages that are working the price down and will probably continue to do so. So just bear that in mind. We should expect the price to, at the very least, go sideways from here. I wouldn't expect a ramp up to 52,000, but if we just say we get that CME gap up on Monday, then we'd be in pretty good shape here. We might actually see the price increase based on those futures. So we want to pay attention to that as well. But for right now, ultimately, this week is a heavy news week, so just be mindful of the fact that Bitcoin could be very volatile this week, but also understand too, with everything kind of looming, we shouldn't expect Bitcoin just to shoot straight up, right? And that's a very strong reality. So the key takeaway here is to try to identify coins that are breaking free from Bitcoin. I don't think a lot of them will be, but for that matter, it's important to understand where Bitcoin's at. So hopefully you understand what I'm getting at there. It's not good, not bad, right? It's kind of is what it is. But we see some green days here, and most coins just based on again being a weekend. Saturdays are typically more of a green day than a red day, and we just gotta, I guess, celebrate that while we can. Okay. Now, just before we jump into Sandbox, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade. So I do have a trading community. Link in the description below. Check that out. We're rolling out with a website soon at the end of this month, as a matter of fact, just to make sure it's a much better facilitated learning environment for our newer members as well as our current members, of course. So it's just going to be a much better scenario altogether. Very excited for that. Check that out in your own time now with Sandbox, of course. Let's go ahead and look at the one-day chart and work our way down. First and foremost, we got the 50-day simple moving average working its way up to the support level at about 411. So this is a very good sign because if the price continues to trend lower, which I wouldn't be surprised by, we have that potentially hold the price action up when it happens. Okay, so that could occur. We also have 50 on the RSI right now, kind of getting held down by 50 as a matter of fact. So you can kind of see the price is below now. That's not great because the fact that 50 on the RSI works as a strong resistance level in most cases. And that's fairly synonymous here with about $5.05. So 505 is essentially a key level resistance because again, the one-day candlestick closed below yesterday, therefore reaffirming that as a resistance level. So just note that there's that. We also have this potential support here as well, like a secondary support. You can see the price action kind of held out right there at right around 447. So between 411 and 447 is this nice strong support channel. So we shouldn't expect to see the price action come much lower than that, okay? So that's a good sign. I like to see that. Looking at the 4-hour, we've got another, it's potentially good, potentially bad, right? We got the 200-day simple moving average holding the price action higher, right? That's a good sign. The 200 on the 4-hour is a very, very strong indicator. However, we have the 50 on its way down, which is notoriously known as a death cross when the price action essentially, gets pushed down because of that. So that could happen. Just bear in mind, that's not happening on Bitcoin's candlesticks, so we're probably okay. Because just note that when Bitcoin is kind of calling the shots, which it is right now, that's more of an effective, potential negative than this is here. Okay, so I'm not really super concerned with this death cross, so to speak, because I don't think that's going to really hurt Sandbox in any way. What will hurt Sandbox is if Bitcoin sells off by 5% tomorrow, right? Things like that will damage Sandbox's progress because you can see a very synonymous behavior here, right? Yes, Sandbox tries to push up a little bit higher here, but any little small variant of price retracement for Bitcoin is exaggerated for Sandbox. Okay, and that's pretty much the consistency across the board right now. We can see that almost with every altcoin right now. There's a couple of exceptions, of course, but you can kind of expect that kind of behavior. It's like, 3% for Bitcoin is 9 to 12% for these other coins, and it works both ways, okay? So again, very volatile, not the most enjoyable type of market conditions, honestly, especially with Bitcoin not quite figuring itself out yet. It needs time though. It fell down very hard and very fast in a short amount of time. 27% in 16 hours. That's a lot of movement, and we need to respect the fact that these other coins are feeling that pressure. Okay, especially coins like this. Sandbox is a profitable coin for a lot of people. These are the first coins to sell off. Gala's getting hit hard. Mana, I believe, got hit hard as well. A handful of others that should be doing much better right now, but they're not because they're the first thing that these whales go to take their profits when Bitcoin is in a state of indecision. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt causes some crazy, crazy things, right? So ultimately, that's kind of where we're at there. Now, looking at the 1 hour, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We can see on the 1 hour chart, the price is trying to break above the cloud, of course, not even close to the cloud, but the good news is the lagging span is just free of the price action and the conversion line's above the baseline. So we've got 2 out of 3 positive indications here. Once we close above the 1 hour candlestick with just say 2 or 3 hours worth of, I guess, consolidation, if nothing else, then we'll be in a shape to possibly consider this to be a break to the upside. For right now, I wouldn't celebrate just yet. We're not anywhere close to being out of the doghouse. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, oh, okay, it's going to break free here. It can only go so low for so long. While that's true, we're still making lower lows and lower highs, right? So until we can get this to break this plane here, or just say, the next low to be higher than the current support at 505, then we're going to be in a situation where we're just going to continue to see the price action go stagnant and sideways and rely on Bitcoin. So, my advice right now, and I advise my patrons the same thing as well, my community members, just simply put dollar cost average if at all possible, right? So, this may or may not be the bottom. If it is, put a little bit into it. Keep adding a little bit into Sandbox if you feel like this is going to be the coin for you, right? You got a handful of coins that you really like, go ahead and put a little bit into each one of them. Don't put your eggs into all in one basket, okay? That's all I can say. That's probably the biggest and easiest way that people get wrecked. I've had community members, join my communities thinking, hey, can you get me out of this hole that I've dug, right? And 9 times out of 10, they have 2 coins that they're all in on, right? So just try not to do that. Diversify, dollar cost average. Those are 2 key indicators of a good trader. Obviously, good risk tolerance is another thing that I could work with you on, of course, if you want to consider joining my community. And we're actually going to rolling out with their website soon. It's going to be an awesome experience. A lot of premium content, private, of course, for members only, and just a really awesome learning experience. So check that out in your own time. Either way, I do want to thank you very much for your time here, and we'll go ahead and cover Sandbox again soon. Okay, but for now, dollar cost average, that's the main recommendation I have for you, because that's really going to keep you afloat. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again for your time. Take care.